So for some reason, my camera seems to be a little unstable for the online people. So I'm sorry if the camera keeps switching off, keeps turning off for some reason. So sorry about that. Hare Krishna. So warm welcome to all the devotees who have joined here today. As I said last time, also very encouraging when devotees come in large numbers and even more when they come on time. So thank you for taking the time and coming on time. Hare Krishna. So we've been discussing, from the third canto, where the pastime. Last time we discussed which pastime? Anyone remembers? Last time, which pastime we discussed last time? So this was a small test also. So okay, we were discussing last time about Krishna's education pastime. He goes to Sandipani Muni's ashram and then he pays him, Guru Dakshina. That's what we discussed last time. I'm seeing some Matajis who come after a very long time. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. So we were discussing about Krishna's childhood pastimes, and now we go into a new phase. Okay, because Uddhava he's giving just a sankshipt mein, as they say, a summary of Krishna's pastime. He's not going into details because he has to come to the point, the basic point. It is like imagine if someone very dear to you, someone elderly, passes away, and and someone comes and asks you that how did he pass away, and you start telling their life story from their birth till the point where they left their body. So it requires a lot of patience to listen, right? I didn't want the whole story. I just want to know how did he pass away. And here Uddhava is telling everything from the start to finish, everything. But because it is Krishna Leela, it is so sweet that every drop, एक एक बूंद ऐसा वो डाल रहे हैं, on Vidura. Each drop is filled with so much nectar. It is like for us, all of us must be having some very pleasant experience of our life. There won't be many, but there'll be a few. There'll be a few which you really remember with great happiness, right? If someone asks you to recount that story, you can immediately tell, right? So it may not be in an active memory, but if someone brings up that, immediately the whole story comes alive, right? Just in that it's like one file in your computer, your brain just opened like that, and everything comes out. So it is like that over here. Each time Vidura is telling one small pastime, he's just telling in one line, right? This is one line, one verse, 3.3.3. And in response to that, now we are trying to discuss the whole pastime with all its history, right? So that's how it is. So in this verse, this particular verse, Uddhava says, attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, many great kings and princes assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share, as Garuda carried away nectar. So this is one of the most beautiful pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. My personal favorite. I whenever I get chance to tell this story, I love to tell this story. It's one of my personal favorite pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Just reading it makes me very happy. Just reading it, I feel very happy when I read this. So this story starts again. There is always a backstory to the story. So we discussed two times before, two meetings before, we discussed how Kamsa was killed by Krishna. Now, Kamsa's wives were the daughters of Jarasandha. Okay, Jarasandha, very powerful king of Magad. So they went to their father and they complained, "Arey, dekho kya ho gaya? Hum to vidwa ho gaye," types. So they went and they were very. So after that, Jarasandha came and he started attacking. He brought a huge army. He said, "I will kill Krishna. I will kill this Krishna, Balram, and all the members of the Yadu dynasty because मेरी बेटी को विधवा किया." It's another thing that Kamsa did the same thing with his nephews, nieces many times. But when someone does something to their own, this is how demoniac people are. That हम कुछ भी करे चलता है, लेकिन दूसरे ने हमको कुछ क्या, how dare you? It is like that. That's how it works. It's just very unfortunate that people always remember what happened to them. They don't remember what they did before something came back, before karma came and one tight slap, on the cheek. Before that, they don't remember मैंने क्या क्या किया उनको याद नहीं रहता है. And they're like, what is this? How dare you? So this is the thing. So he went and attacked. So the Bhagavatam gives a very gory description. Sometimes Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami, when he's describing, he goes into great amount of detail about how this battle happened. So Krishna and Balram, they came out of Mathura. So when this person came, Jarasandha came with many Akshayani divisions, many elephants, horses, camels, soldiers armed very heavily. Huge army came. And Jarasandha, when he came here to the surrounded, laid siege to Mathura, Krishna and Balram came out of Mathura with just a few soldiers. They didn't have too many soldiers. But without going to the details, within very short period, they killed everyone in Jarasandha's army. Not one person survived, except one. Only Jarasandha survived. They only kept him alive. They didn't kill him. So Balramji had actually, tied him up. And but Krishna told, no. Chhod do usko, jaane do. But no, Krishna, see, when he comes to the material world, in the Gita, he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yoge yoge. He says, I keep coming to destroy the miscreants, to deliver the pious. Now, destroy the miscreants में बहुत मेहनत है ना उसमें, मतलब बार-बार, if you have to go and search for all the miscreants, सबको एक-एक जाके मारना बहुत तकलीफ है वो. He knew that, very efficiently our Jarasandha would do this job. He would collect everybody and attack Mathura. And then Krishna would, kill them and then leave Jarasandha. Jarasandha again. So Jarasandha, the first time he was killed, he thought, I'll go to the forest. You imagine what a humiliating thing, no? सबको मार दे, एक को भी नहीं छोड़ा, सिर्फ उनको जिंदा रखा है. So how humiliating it is for him. So Jarasandha, he was thinking कि मैं तो अभी संन्यास ले रहा हूँ, जाने दो मेरे को, नहीं करना है कुछ. But then his, so-called well-wishers, they gave him advice. नहीं, अरे आप इतना जल्दी कैसे hope हार सकते हो? Don't lose hope. Definitely you can fight again. You can defeat this Krishna. What is he? Some coward boy. He was just, उसको आता भी नहीं है. He just got lucky. Maybe आपका time खराब था. इसके लिए आप हारे. So he got encouraged. He again, went back to Magad again over a period of time. Again collected army. Again attacked. Like this, he attacked 17 times. And all the 17 times same result. See, this is our. We should not think कि क्या foolish है ये Jarasandha. हम भी Jarasandhi है. हम भी Jarasandha है. हम लोग सोचते हैं कि हम भी कुछ, we are not trying to attack Krishna, but we are thinking that, we will do something. हम कुछ achieve करेंगे, कुछ पा लेंगे. हम लोग भी 17 times try करते हैं, fail होते हैं, but फिर भी अपने को enthuse रहते हैं. नहीं. मेरे पास, मेरे बाजुओं में जब तक शक्ति है, मैं तब तक नहीं छोड़ूंगा. Like that. We are thinking that I will somehow make it. Somehow I'll do it. It's not a. Purasan. So, like this, Jarasandha attacked 17 times. Okay. Now, after this, 18th time war was going to be, मतलब वो फिर से जंग छेड़ने वाले थे. And Krishna had got news that अभी Jarasandha फिर से आ रहा है. They not learned a lesson. Sometimes people don't learn the lesson and they keep on making the same mistake. So he said, okay, Jarasandha is coming. At that same time, Yavana king called Kalyavan. Okay, Kalyavan, he also attacked Mathura. So there is a backstory to why Kalyavan attacked Mathura. I won't get into that because you want to quickly get to the main point, Ajka main story, right? So he also attacked. So Kalyavan attacked before Jarasandha. पहला उनका बहुत बड़ा army आके laid siege to Mathura, and then after that, Krishna, he came to know. So already what had happened was so many times attacks had happened. So Krishna had told Balram कि कुछ करना पड़ेगा इसका. Should do something. क्या बार-बार Mathura vasis can't live in peace. Non-stop ये attack होते रहते हैं. ये क्या है? So what he did overnight, okay, he created a city. Now where is Mathura in UP? And where is Dwarka? Outskirts of Gujarat, on the border, right? he created a city called Dwarka in the middle of the sea with a 26-mile, radius in the middle of the sea with a huge wall surrounding it entirely, and the whole city was constructed in the middle of the sea in no time. In no time. And overnight, like रात को जब मथुरा वासी सोए तो वो मथुरा में सोए, और सुबह जब ही उठे तो द्वारका में उठे. When they woke up, they were in Dwarka, and Dwarka was even more opulent than Mathura. So this is what the Lord can do into anything. So he moved them to Mathura, and then now Mathura, he moved them to Dwarka, and now Mathura is empty. Only Krishna and Balram are there. In fact, Balram also is gone. So Krishna, what he does is, Kalyavan, now we discussed that Kalyavan has attacked Mathura. He's laid siege. Now Krishna walks out of Mathura. He walks out of the city gates. Now imagine कि अगर कोई बड़ा आर्मी खड़ा है और गेट खुलता है, तो they are expecting गेट खुला मतलब कोई बड़ा आर्मी बाहर आएगा, पर आर्मी कोई है ही नहीं, सब द्वारका चले गए, सब everyone's gone to Dwarka, very nicely settled over there. Krishna comes out alone, अकेले आते हैं बाहर, and he starts walking towards the army. Now imagine what a bewildering sight it must be. Very bewildering. ये क्या मेरी ये and Kalyavan has been sent there by Narad Muni कि तुम इसके साथ लड़ो, because उनको मालूम है कि ये इनका उनका डिलीवरी यही करने वाले हैं. So he sends him there, and request everyone to kindly mute themselves so that I doesn't disturb. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So where was I? Kalyavan. So Kalyavan आए अटैक करने, और आप सोचो अकेले, Krishna, beautiful sight, he is looking, but Narad Muni has described to him already कि कृष्णा कैसे दिखते हैं, उनको already बताया है. तो वो कृष्णा को ऐसा वो प्रकट सामने से आ रहे हैं, and he is looking at him, just mesmerized by his beauty, and he's thinking, and उनके हाथ में कुछ weapons भी नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि मतलब war अकेला मैं लड़ूंगा, अकेले आए हैं, हाथ में कुछ नहीं है, आराम से, just like going for a morning walk, he just walks out, he walks towards Kalyavan, towards his chariot, and he walks past. He doesn't stop, he just keeps walking. And he gets out of his chariot and stop, fight me. And Krishna just keeps walking. He doesn't stop. And Kalyavan is running to catch him. He thinks that I will also fight with my bare hands and I will kill him. And he starts running to catch up with Krishna. He is running at his top pace, and Krishna is walking, but he doesn't reach him only. So Prabhupada explains, that the yogis are not able to catch Krishna, then what will a person like this catch? So anyway, he goes, then Krishna goes into a cave. In that cave, Kalyavan comes and he starts cursing that you coward, bhag gaye, bhagode, ye kya hai, how you are running away like this, and then he sees someone sleeping there. He thinks, he gets very insulted, right? मतलब मेरे से भाग के जाके इधर सो गए, and he kicks. And when he kicks, actually that person is a great devotee called Muchukunda, who was a king from past ages, but been given a boon to sleep, just sleep as long as you want. So when he's sleeping, he's been given a boon that if you open your eyes, you can burn to death someone who wakes you up before time. जैसे कुंभकर्ण को भी जगाने का कार्य was not an easy job. Before time waking up, very tough. Muchukunda also didn't want to be disturbed, so he said, I want to sleep. When he was woken up like this by Kalyavan, who kicked him, he opened his eyes and he burnt him to ashes. So immediately Kalyavan was finished. So there's a long story after that Muchukunda was, he glorifies Krishna, and then after that he is delivered. And then Krishna, after अभी क्या हो गया, Kalyavan खत्म, Muchukunda delivered, एक काम हो गया. Now he walks back to Mathura, and he starts going in the opposite direction. Now he says, now I have to go to Dwarka. Okay. So Krishna and Balram also. Krishna and Balram also there. And now at that time, by this time, Jarasandha has reached. Wow, we are today houseful. Hari Bol. Jai Jai, such an auspicious sight. I am so grateful to all of you for taking out your Sunday evening and coming here. This is so inspiring. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So yeah, so Krishna and Balram, na, so they go and they're coming out of Mathura again. That time, this one attacks. Who attacks? Jarasandha. Now Jarasandha वो आने वाला था, वो आ जाता है. Now Krishna and Balram, they don't want to. They have already killed Kaliyavan's soldiers. They come back on the way. They kill Kaliyavan's soldiers. और मारपीट नहीं करना है. अभी छोड़ो इसको. And Prabhupada describes that actually he had more important job. Okay, so he did not stop to kill Jarasandha's soldiers for the 18th time. He started going away. And now Jarasandha gets angry. Hey, run chhod ke bhag raha hai. And because of that, he started being called Ranchod. Right? So this is Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Whatever he does, when he steals also, he's called Makhan Chod. When he runs away from battle, he is called Ranchod. There is a beautiful temple of Lord Ranchodra in Dakor, near Nadiad in Gujarat. So that's based on this pastime. So Krishna starts running away. So Prabhupada describes that there are two reasons he ran away. One, because already इतना bloodshed हो गया है, कालियावंत का पूरा आदमी खत्म कर दिया है. अभी वापस और एक war कौन fight करेगा? Plus, he had a more important business. What is that business? He had to rescue Rukmini. Now the story starts, right? He had to rescue Rukmini. So therefore he said, "Chodo na, abhi ye battle mein kyun time pass karne ka? Let's go." So he goes, and he goes to Dwarka. And now the story moves from Dwarka to Maharashtra. We were in UP. UP से हम लोग कहाँ हैं? Dwarka, which is Gujarat. Now we come to Maharashtra. Okay, Maharashtra में आते हैं. तो Maharashtra में, there's this place called Kaundinyapur, which is in Kaundanipur, which is near in Vidarbha area. So Wardha area. So over there, there was a great king called Bhishmaka. Okay, Bhishmaka of Vidarbha. Now he had 5 sons. Okay, he had 5 sons and he had only one daughter. The daughter's name was Rukmini. Okay, and the description is given. A description is given of her beauty. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that she was exquisitely beautiful. Well, we say exquisite means the beauty of Rukmini cannot be described in words. She was so beautiful. And here, one poetic word is used, which is her. She was known as Ruchiranana, which means one who has a beautiful face expanded like a lotus flower. See, a lotus is one of the most beautiful flowers. When you see a lotus, it's a very exotic color and it's so soft and very beautiful. So, because sometimes poets and people who write poetry, who glorify the Lord's consorts or whatever, for them sometimes वो भाषा कम पड़ जाती. भाषा कम बोल के क्या बोले? What words to use to describe the beauty? So then they use metaphors, like a beautiful, like a lotus flower, because there's lack of better words. So it is described that Rukmini, right from her birth, she was because Bhishmaka was like a good king, and he used to have all these saintly people coming to his palace. Narad Muni was one of them who used to come to the palace of Bhishmaka, and in the palace of Bhishmaka he would speak the glories of Krishna. Okay, he would speak the glories of Krishna. Now, where is Vidarbha? Maharashtra, and where is Krishna and UP? Like a long distance relationship, right? She was just hearing about Krishna, right? And when she was hearing, she would hear about his beauty, she would hear about his strength, she would hear about his knowledge, she would hear about his fame. And every time she heard about him, she has not seen Krishna. She has not. Have we seen Krishna? We also not seen Krishna, right? But Rukmini had also not seen Krishna. But just by hearing about him, it is like anyone of you who has played jigsaw puzzles. Jigsaw puzzles किसी ने किया है जिंदगी में? किया है ना? तो जिग्सॉ पजल में कैसा एक एक पिक्चर बैठ के वो पिक्चर फॉर्म हो जाता है, you know. So in the same way, she used to hear something about Krishna's beauty, something about his pastime, something about his qualities, something about his, you know, something she would hear, and she was like piecing together the jigsaw puzzle, and she was getting more and more attracted to Krishna simply by hearing about him. You know, simply by hearing, she started developing such deep love for Krishna that I want to be married to only this person. She was very clear in her mind. मेरे को और कहीं नहीं है, मुझे और किसी से ब्याह नहीं करना है, मुझे सिर्फ इस व्यक्ति से ब्याह करना है. So she was very clear. So what can we learn from this, right? We also don't have access to Krishna. We can't see Krishna so easily. We can go to the temple, we can take darshan of Shri Radha Gopinath. But even when we take darshan of Radha Gopinath, we see deities, but we don't see Krishna. We're looking, we may say, oh, Gopinath, but we don't have, you know, like here, we see Radha Gopinath, the photo over here, you can see. This is the temple, Shri Radha Gopinath temple in ISKCON Chowpatty, you know, which is near Babulnath temple in South Bombay. This is a temple that we have been, many of us have been associated for 20-25 years. So when we go and stand in front of the deities, if we have heard about Krishna, then we have some understanding this is Krishna, and we can, you know, kind of reciprocate with him. But otherwise we don't know. So how can we develop love for Krishna like Rukmini? In the same way, simply by the same process of hearing Krishna Katha, we can develop love for Krishna. So therefore we should also persist. लगे रहो. You know, sometimes हमें लगता है कि थोड़ा सुना बहुत हो गया. No, we have to persist. Keep hearing, you know, hearing, chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Gatir Anyatha. You know, it is described that this holy name of Krishna, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, there is no other way, in the age of Kali. So therefore, simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna, or by hearing about his glories, hearing about his pastimes, hearing his instructions in the Bhagavad Gita, the Gita when Krishna comes and tells, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishya satyam te pratijane priyosame. So Krishna is coming and telling us, he is giving us instruction. And what is our reaction? हाँ ठीक है, वो किसी और के लिए. That is meant for very elevated souls. मैं वो category में नहीं हूँ. No, Bhagavad Gita is for everyone. When Krishna says that dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhiras tatra muyati. When Krishna says this that, you know, the embodied soul passes in this body, the soul which is residing, eternal soul which is residing in this body, passes in this body from boyhood to youth, from babyhood, just sweet child, from babyhood to, again, you know, sweet child becomes a distraction. From babyhood to boyhood to youth to old age and then into another body, right? So this, as it's not as if this is applicable only to Indians. Only Indians pass, you know, in this body from boyhood to youth to old age and another body, or only Hindus. मुसलमान लोग का नहीं होता है, क्रिश्चियन का नहीं होता है, ऐसा तो नहीं है. This knowledge is universal. Bhagavad Gita is for everyone. If we just see it with that, you know, vision, with that faith, you can see that instruction given by Krishna is applicable for everyone at all times, in all places. Right? So by this process of hearing, we keep hearing, our faith develops. With that faith, when we engage in the process of bhakti, which is about chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we chant the holy names like this, when we participate in Kirtan, when we participate in Hari Katha like this, when we do that, by that process of hearing, exactly like Rukmini, our heart, if now how was Rukmini hearing? She was not hearing कि मैं ऐसा बिलीव नहीं करने वाला, मेरे को किसी ने बुलाया उसके लिए मैं आ गया, मेरा तो कुछ इसमें इंटरेस्ट नहीं है बाबा. Right? If we come like that, then we will not receive the same thing that Rukmini received. Now, Rukmini, when she's hearing with her heart open. She's hearing about the beauty of Krishna with her heart open. She's hearing about the qualities of Krishna with her heart open. Her heart is open, so everything is going inside. The picture is forming. Krishna is residing in her heart, literally, right? So it's a very beautiful thing. So if we participate, we also get this. Then it is described that not only Rukmini had heard about Krishna. Now this is like a real long distance love story, but even Krishna had heard about Rukmini. See क्या होता है, if someone is very amazing, then वो बोलते हैं ना कि आप किसी वो सूरज को आप छुपा के नहीं रख सकते बहुत टाइम. You can't hide the sun. You can hide a light, you can hide many things, but you can't hide the sun. For some time there may be clouds, but after some time the clouds will be gone and the sun will be revealed, right? So Rukmini is like that bright sun. You can't hide her. So even Krishna had heard about her qualities. So it is described he had heard of her qualities. She was the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Intelligence. She was very intelligent. She had auspicious physical features. She was liberal minded, exquisite beauty, and righteous behavior. So now so you imagine the boy and the girl, they have never met, they only heard about each other, and there's already an attraction in the heart, because actually Rukmini is like, she's the manifestation of Mother Lakshmi. So she is like the eternal consort of Krishna. But somehow in the material world, things don't always work out exactly, right? Like even Sita Mata had to go through some anxiety before Lord Ram came. So many people came and tried to lift that bow, but nobody succeeded. Only Lord Ram. So what happened was her brother Rukmi, he decided, I will get my sister married to Shishupala. Okay. Now the father Bhishmaka had already thought, because he had also heard about Krishna, he had heard about how he had killed Kamsa, वो सब सुना है उन्होंने. तो यार यही लड़का ठीक रहेगा हमारी बेटी के लिए. Any father wants the best for his daughter. Now even Rukmi अपने हिसाब से he was thinking that Shishupal is the best. It was his calculation. So he was, he announced that I will get my sister married to Shishupal. And because that was decided, now Rukmini got into anxiety. Rukmini started thinking, how can I be married to this Shishupal? Ye kaise possible? So she became very, very morose. She became very depressed. She said, no, this is not possible. So she might have told her father might have told, मैं क्या करूं, So finally she said that ठीक है, मुझे ही कुछ करना पड़ेगा. So what she did was she called for a brahmana. She said, please come, and she gave him a message. Okay, she gave him a message and said, please, quickly take this message to Dwarka. Take this message to Dwarka, and you give this message to Krishna. This letter, you please give it to Krishna, and then once he reads the message, hopefully he will come here, and that. So now, as they say, this is the first love letter of the world. Okay, so Rukmini Devi has written imagine, right? This is some 5,200 years ago. We say women were emancipated now in the last 20-30 years. No, in the Vedic society, women always had emancipation. They were always free, but under the protection of their father or their husband or their son, depending on their age. They were protected, but they were not, some weaklings who were manipulated by men. No, they were given that, they had that courage, they had that education, they had that culture, that how to handle things. So you see Rukmini's qualities. So Rukmini, what she did was she sent this letter. And this Brahmana, now see, Rukmini has already declared. So now see the setting कैसा हो रहा है. Rukmini ने already बोल दिया है शादी होगा, कुछ date fix किया होगा. And in parallel, she has sent the letter to Dwarka. But उन दिनों में flight नहीं था ना, from Vidarbha directly to Dwarka. There was no flight. So the Brahmana probably went on some slow bullock cart, all the way to Dwarka. which is over 1,200 kilometers from Vidarbha. If you look up Google Maps, you'll see it's a 1200 kilometer ka distance. So he went, and after he went there, it is described that how Krishna received the Brahmana. He received him with so much respect, with such great respect. Krishna was sitting on a golden throne when this Brahmana entered. He said, I have a message, from the princess of Vidarbha. So he brings him inside. He makes him sit first on his throne. So this is the culture. This is the culture. So even a great king, Krishna is like Dwarkadhish, but an ordinary Brahmana from some unknown state, पता नहीं कौन है, but उनको अपने throne पे बिठाया, made him sit on his throne, and then with great love he washed his feet, he massaged his feet, put his lotus feet, put the Brahmana's feet on his lap, and he was massaging his feet. And then very respectfully, Krishna asked him, I hope you're all right. I hope, as per you're a Brahmana, I hope you are able to execute your religious principles. I hope your mind is peaceful. अच्छे से उनको पूछा और फिर उनको पूछा कि बताओ, what is your message? So now in the 52nd chapter of Krishna book, okay, this letter given by Rukmini is given. Okay, so I'll just quickly read it. It's very nice, because in this letter she is glorifying Krishna. She is talking about her, her shortcomings. She's saying that, she's glorifying Krishna. She's saying, I am not qualified to, approach you, but I am captivated by your qualities. Main kya karu? Something like that. And then, she's saying that I want to be your servant. So she says, my dear Krishna, O infallible and most beautiful one, any human being who happens to hear about your transcendental form and pastimes immediately absorbs through his ears your name, fame, and quality. Thus, all his material pangs subside, and he fixes your form in his heart. Right? Shuru kahan se hua? Straight away she is saying, oh infallible and most beautiful. Infallible kyun? Pehle first adjective she uses is infallible. Achyuta. Infallible का क्या मतलब है? He can never be defeated. वो कभी गलत नहीं prove होंगे. Why? Somewhere there's a hope in our heart कि मैंने आपके यहाँ पे, I have put a अर्जी. अभी आप इसमें नापास नहीं हो नापास. Somehow you find a way to take me away from here. So she's saying, anyone who hears your transcendental form and pastimes, immediately the material pangs subside. What is material pangs? Material pangs means in our life, we all have ambitions. We all have our frustrations, right? And very often our frustrations are connected with our ambitions. Because I'm ambitious, because I want something, I want a good husband, I want a good wife, I want obedient children, I want smart children, I want good bank balance, but I want to have work-life balance. I want everything. Basically, मेरे को सब कुछ ऐसा हम लोग भगवान के सामने जाते भी एक बार आप सब समझ लो मतलब मेरे को तो basically सब कुछ चाहिए. I remember when I think I've told this before. When I was in Mitibai College way back, 11, 12 standard. Abhi we were not devotees and we were like not so well off that every day, कुछ भारी भरकम बाहर खा सकते थे. My mother would give me some pocket money. वो pocket money से मेरे को कुछ बीच में कुछ खाने को मिलता था. So I used to go to the sandwich fellow, and 2-3 of us used to go sub, all Hunter Gopal. किसी के पास खास पैसा नहीं है. तो सैंडविच वाले के पास जाते थे और उसको बोलते थे कि आप ना इसमें आलू थोड़ा ज्यादा डाल दो. ठीक है, आलू ज्यादा डाल दे. आप ना टमाटर भी ज्यादा डाल दो. ज्यादा डाल दे. आप ना क्यूकम्बर भी ज्यादा डाल दो. So he is looking at us. So basically तुम सब कुछ ज्यादा डाल दो बस. सब कुछ ज्यादा डाल दो. हमको तो सब कुछ चाहिए, right? Because अपने पास बजट उतना ही है, उसमें 2 जन को खाने का तो क्या करें? सब कुछ ज्यादा डाल दो. So हम भी जब भगवान के सामने जाते हैं ना, हम लोग वही सोच रहे हैं, भगवान क्या ना जरा सेट कर लो. ठीक है, मैं कुछ मांग नहीं रहा हूँ, ज्यादा उम्मीद नहीं रख रहा हूँ, बट मैं आप समझ जाओ मुझे क्या चाहिए. आप तो you are residing in the heart of everybody. आपको मालूम है क्या चाहिए मेरे को, बस वो दे दो. बात ज्यादा नहीं मांगता. So like that. Is there the material pangs which we have in our heart, which is, coming out of the desires that we have, which are getting frustrated, our frustrations with our own lives. Sometimes we're frustrated with our children, with our husband, with our job, with the political situation in Maharashtra, with the political situation in India, the fact that Japanese Prime Minister got shot. Some people get disturbed by these things, right? I mean, honestly, right? Because we are not, we are not immune. When we see these things, we see this is all a sign that the world is getting more and more disturbed. There are a lot of disturbed people there. In the United States of America, every few days there is a shooting happening. There are so many guns there. The number of guns owned by the Americans is more than, probably some 56% of the world's guns are held by Americans. Can you imagine? They are not even probably 5% of the world's population, but 56% of the world's guns ever produced are held by Americans. What do you think is going to happen? They're shooting each other. So there is always this disturbance that is there. We're disturbed by the material events. We're disturbed by our own ambitions not getting fulfilled. We are disturbed by mosquitoes. We're disturbed कि AC बहुत ज़्यादा है, बहुत कम है. ये बात कब वक्त खत्म करेगा? We're disturbed by so many things. So many things could possibly disturb us. So what she's saying is, when we hear this Hari Katha, material pangs subside. When we are hearing Hari Katha, no, it's like a gentle waterfall, not a very powerful one. A gentle waterfall, you can stand under it, and just the spray of the water is coming and you feel nice and cool. Like a summer day, you can stand under a waterfall. It's not अच्छा लगता है. So this is what it is. At that time, when we are chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That time, when we are chanting the holy names, at that time, no anxiety enters the mind. No, we forget that, अरे घर में मेरे बच्चे कितने मेरे को तंग करते हैं, मेरी सासू माँ ऐसी है, मेरा पति ऐसा है, मेरी पत्नी ऐसी है. We forget all that because this is so sweet, So then she says, through such transcendental love for you, he always sees you within himself, and by this process, all his desires are fulfilled. Similarly, now she's saying, similarly, I have heard of your transcendental qualities. Okay. She says, I may be shameless in expressing myself directly. So she is expressing that it is not appropriate for a girl to just directly write to a stranger, right? I mean, she doesn't know that Krishna has heard about her. उसे क्या मालूम, right? अभी कॉलेज में क्या होता है, लड़का लड़की एक दूसरे को पसंद करते भी हैं. पहले बात कौन करेगा, उसमें ही बहुत सारे महीने निकल जाते हैं कभी, right? कि बस बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं, अप्रोच करने को ही बहुत टाइम लग जाता है. सो यहाँ पे तो कंप्लीट मतलब दो अलग स्टेट, इंटर स्टेट, ये रिलेशनशिप है, where they have never met. Not like in today's day and age, people meet on Facebook, they meet on Ludo. हाँ, लूडो गेम है ना, लूडो गेम में किसी के साथ मीट करके फ्रेंडशिप बना के रिलेशनशिप बन जाता है. तो ये आजकल का जमाना है, बट ये उस जमाने में ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. Just by hearing, she has developed love. So she's saying, I may be shameless in expressing myself directly. हाँ, I know, मेरे में गलती है, ये मैं ऐसा डायरेक्टली अप्रोच नहीं करना चाहिए. But you have captivated me and taken my heart. मैं क्या करूं? What do I do? Right? She's expressing a helplessness. You may doubt my steadiness of character, since how could an unmarried young girl like me approach you without any shame? But my dear Mukunda, you are the supreme lion amongst human beings, the supreme person amongst persons. Any girl, though not having left her home, or any woman of the highest chastity would desire to marry you. And मैं ही नहीं, कोई भी हो, अगर आपके गुणों के बारे में सुने, आपके रूप के बारे में सुने, आपके लीलाओं के बारे में सुने, तो विवश हो जाते हैं. उनको सबको लगता है कि यही मेरा पति होना चाहिए. This should be my husband. That's isn't anybody. Being captivated by your unprecedented character, knowledge, opulence, and position. I know you are the husband of goddess of fortune and are very kind to your devotees. Therefore, I have decided to become your eternal maidservant. मतलब मुझे आपकी सेवा में लगना है, बस I want to serve you. She is not talking I want to enjoy with you. Say I want to serve you. I don't mind being your maid servant, but please accept me. Okay. My dear Lord, I dedicate my life and soul unto your lotus feet. I have selected your lordship as my husband, and I therefore request you to accept me as your wife. This is the proposal, right? She has proposed, malab she has spoken, introduced herself, she has spoken about his glories, and she has proposed also. I would like to be your wife. Please accept me as your wife. Then she says, you are the supreme powerful lotus-eyed one. Now I belong to you. मतलब उन्होंने प्रपोज कर दिया और उन्होंने बोला कि बस मैं अभी आपकी हो गई, अभी मुझे और कुछ सोचना नहीं है और किसी और के बारे में, I don't want to consider anybody else. She says, if that which is enjoyable for the lion is taken away by the jackal, it will be a ludicrous affair. तो वो कहती है कि what is meant for lion? She just said no that you are the lion, right? She has just said you are like a supremely far like a lion. So he says if that which is meant for the lion, which means you, is taken away by the jackal, which is Shishupal, वो तो ridiculous हो जाएगा. So therefore I request you to immediately take care of me before I am taken away by Shishupal and other princes like him. So see how nicely she is building the case. पूरा केस स्टडी बनाया उन्होंने बराबर से कृष्ण को समझाने के लिए कि देखो, you know, I have given my heart to you for these reasons. I have already accepted you as my husband. Now if I have accepted you as my husband means I am yours. Now if I am only telling I am yours, something that belongs to you, if someone else comes and takes away, तो कैसे ठीक रहेगा, right? So she says that you please come and take me quickly. Says, my dear Lord, in my previous life, I may have done public welfare work like digging wells and planting trees or pious activities, you know, and sacrifices and serving superiors like the spiritual master, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. By these activities, perhaps I have pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan. If this be so, then I wish that you, Lord Krishna, the brother of Lord Balram, please come here and catch hold of my hand so that I shall not be touched by Shishupal and his company. So this is how her letter ends, right? So she has made a very strong, and you know, it is described that she also gives a few instructions to the Brahmana. You know, see the intelligence, right? This is a woman. She's not even a grown-up woman that time. Rukmini is just kind of a young girl. She's not a grown-up lady also. She's a young girl. But see the intelligence that she has. She tells Krishna that you don't come and take me away from my palace, because फिर पैलेस के अंदर मारामारी चालू हो जाएगी, and then उसमें my near and dear ones may also get killed. बस अभी कोई आया ऐसा किडनैप करके घर की, you know, बोलते हैं घर की लड़की को उठा के लेके गया, तो naturally कुछ तो होगा ना, some fighting will start. So she says very intelligently, you don't come to the palace and kidnap me. I will be coming outside. आप वहां मुझे किडनैप करो. पूरा सेटिंग करके उन्होंने उनको वो ब्राह्मण को बता दिया. And she tells him that you know हमारे इसमें एक ये रहता है, रस्म रहता है कि before the wedding the bride is supposed to go to the temple of Durga, and in that temple she is supposed to, you know, worship, and then after she comes out then the marriage ceremony starts. So she said that either before I go there or after I come out you kidnap me. पूरा एकदम प्लान बना के सेट करके देती. Now this Brahmana, you know, and she also expressed that I am willing to observe austerities. She says, you know, she also tells in this letter, sorry, I missed this. She also tells in this letter that if you think, अभी मैंने अपनी तरफ से प्रपोज कर दिया, मुझे आपसे ही ब्याह करना है, लेकिन अगर आपको ऐसे लगे कि I am not qualified, that's all right. I am willing to observe austerity for this lifetime till I die, and for many lifetimes after this also. But शादी करूंगी तो आपसे, नहीं तो और कोई तो हमको नहीं चाहिए. And this Prabhupada says this determination is the only price to achieve Krishna's favor. See, if we are wishy-washy, you know, wishy-washy समझते हैं, मतलब कि ये भी चलता है, वो भी चलता है, हाँ कृष्णा का अच्छा लगता है, हमको तो ये भी अच्छा लगता है, वो भी अच्छा लगता है, हमको तो अमेजोन भी अच्छा लगता है, हमको तो नेटफ्लिक्स भी अच्छा लगता है, हमको तो ये सीरियल भी अच्छा लगता है. See, if our mind is bahushakaya, like in Krishna says in the Gita, if your intelligence is many branched, then it is difficult for you to attain something. But vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeham kurunandana. It says if your intelligence is ekeha, one single focus, then you can achieve. And in that endeavor to achieve anything, चलो कृष्णा को अटेन करना तो बहुत बड़ी बात हो गई, but to attain anything in life, can we afford to be not focused? You have to be very focused, you have to be very determined. There will be obstacles. अभी किसी को अगर प्रमोशन चाहिए, ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आपका बॉस वहां पे ऐसा खड़ा है कि अरे तूने मांगा क्यों नहीं, बस मैं तो वेट ही कर रहा था कब तू प्रमोशन मांगे, ये ले प्रमोशन लेटर. ऐसा तो नहीं होने वाला है कि नहीं? if wife approaches husband and says मुझे डायमंड नेकलेस तो मैं खरीद के वेट ही कर रहा था, तूने मांगा क्यों नहीं, इतना आसान तो कभी लाइफ में होता नहीं है ना. we have to struggle for everything, right? So the point over here is this determination that whatever obstacle comes, but I want this, I will keep moving. I may have setbacks, I may fall back in between, while going towards, while trying to follow the process of bhakti. It's very simple, it's a very simple process. क्या करना है, ऐसे आके यहाँ बैठो, हरि कथा सुनो, घर जाओ, अपने घर में चैंटिंग करो, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे. भगवान को कुछ भोग चढ़ाओ, फिर खा जाओ, बस. Nice life. It's very simple, but it's not easy. Why? Because when you do this, sometimes we have obstacles. So the point is, if we are determined like Rukmini was, then it is possible. Okay. So now after all this is done, the Brahmana has read the story, he's read the whole letter. Now he tells Krishna that देखो अभी ना ज़्यादा समय नहीं बचा है. Okay. So he also, because he's come a long distance, no? So he tells Krishna that देखो अभी ज़्यादा समय नहीं बचा है, आपको अगर, so he has put the प्रस्ताव, Krishna has to still respond, no? उन्हें क्या, ब्राह्मण को भी मालूम नहीं है कि Krishna is, as today morning only Radha Gopinath was saying that Krishna, Gopinath, when he's standing on the altar, he's smiling. Whether he is happy with you, बेवकूफ क्या कर रहा है तू लाइफ के साथ, right? He's unhappy with you or he's happy with you, he has that smile on his face. With the Krishna, he's always smiling. You can't make out. So the Brahmana also, just to make sure, बोलते ना expectation setting करना बहुत जरूरी होता है लाइफ में. तो ब्राह्मण ने भी एक्सपेक्टेशन सेटिंग कर दिया. हमने बोला देखो क्या है ना, बहुत ज्यादा टाइम नहीं बचा है, तो अगर आपको, इफ यू आर एक्सेप्टिंग दिस प्रपोजल, वी हैव टू एक्ट नाउ. बहुत ज्यादा टाइम नहीं बचा है. Krishna says done immediately. And first, before that, Krishna, he has to respond to the Brahmana. Krishna expresses his love for Rukmini also. So it's very beautiful, so he tells the Brahmana, he says that even I am very attracted to the auspicious qualities of Rukmini. He says, in fact, I cannot sleep in the night because I'm thinking of her. Right? So he says, so Brahmana is very relieved कि चलो ठीक है. ये ऐसे तो नहीं बोलने वाले ये कैसी लड़की है, हमको नहीं शादी करनी. उन्होंने बोला कि भाई हम भी उसी हाल में हैं, हम भी उसी तरह से उनके सेपरेशन में जल रहे हैं, तो हमको भी जाना है. So immediately Krishna arranges for a chariot, a chariot. In that chariot there are 4 beautiful horses. The names are also mentioned of the horses, I'm not going to it. So then with those horses, he puts the Brahmana on the chariot, he gets on the chariot, and a distance of 1175 kilometers they cover in 12 hours. So Prabhupada described that they drove whole night. पूरा रात उन्होंने, the horses were riding for 12 hours straight. 12 घंटे में 1200 किलोमीटर कवर कर लिया, 100 kilometers per hour, right? So at that pace they reached Dwarka, and after they reached Dwarka, now after Krishna reached Dwarka, when he sees in this Pundina, he sees that Bhishmaka is not very happy with this proposal of marrying his beautiful daughter Rukmini to Shishupala. He in his heart wanted to marry her to Krishna, but अभी बेटे ने propose कर दिया तो क्या करें? What to do? So therefore he said ठीक है अभी क्या करें अभी शादी fix तो हो गई तो कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. So he starts, they start decorating the city, and it's very beautifully decorated. He's giving a lot of charity to the Brahmanas. There are a lot of Vedic hymns that are being chanted by the Brahmanas for Rukmini's protection. And in the meantime, Shishupal arrives. बोलते हैं ना बारातियों का स्वागत. So Bharati log aa gaye. They came there, and Bhishmaka received. So the father of Shishupal, his name was Damaghosh. So Damaghosh and Shishupal and his friends. Who are his friends? Jarasandha and all this. मतलब चांडाल चौकड़ी बोलते हैं ना, सब एक से एक. All the great qualities they have, they all assembled there. Now Damaghosh, when he comes there, he is aware. उनको सी किंग्स का स्पाइस रहता है, तो उनको ऑलरेडी मालूम है कि ये जो रुक्मिणी है, शी एक्चुअली वांटेड टू मैरी कृष्णा. उनको वो खबर पहुंच चुका है. एंड उनको ये भी खबर पहुंच चुका है कि भीष्मका वांटेड टू एक्चुअली मैरी हर टू कृष्णा. सो वो लोग पहले से ही जस्ट टू बी सेफ अपना आर्मी के साथ आते हैं. खाली बारात लेके नहीं आते, पूरे आर्मी के साथ सुसज्जित. They come with everything to this place. Now, after they came here, what happens? In the meantime, next morning, बलराम जी को पता चला कि कृष्ण तो अकेले ऐसे चैरियट पे बैठ के उठ के चले गए, कुछ वेपन्स नहीं, कुछ नहीं, ऐसे चले गए अकेले. So he said, अभी हमें भी कुछ करना पड़ेगा ना. So बलराम जी ने पूरा यदु सेना को तैयार किया और वो भी चल पड़ेगा. So they all reached. So Balram reached, and you see the scene पूरा तैयार हो रहा है, right? That Shishupal has reached, his father Damaghosh has reached, Jarasandha has reached, Rukmini has sent a letter, Krishna has reached, Balaram has reached, all the players have arrived. Abhi मतलब the scene is getting prepared. And what happens is, now in this period, we imagine Rukmini's state. Okay, Rukmini has sent this letter, and after sending the letter, the Brahman has not come back. So she is so worried कि अरे वो मैसेज कृष्णा के पास पहुंचा भी कि नहीं. अच्छा, पहुंचने के बाद उन्होंने मेरे मैसेज को पढ़ा भी कि नहीं, और पढ़ के उन्होंने मुझे एक्सेप्ट किया. So many questions that are swirling through her head. She is in great anxiety, and she starts saying that maybe all the demigods are unhappy with me, because मैं बचपन से I was only after Krishna, I was only worshipping Krishna in my heart. When I was hearing Krishna Leela, Krishna Katha, I was only thinking of Krishna. I never worship Lord Shiva, I never worship Lord Brahma. So maybe they are unhappy with me. And maybe because Lord Shiva is unhappy with me, maybe even Mother Durga is unhappy with me, who is the wife. Parvati is the wife of Lord Shiva. Maybe she is unhappy. Then she starts criticizing her also. She says that Parvati is the daughter of Himalaya. Himavati. She is the daughter of Himalaya. So like Himalaya is very hard, she must be also hard-hearted. She must be also hoping that mera shadi Shishupal se ho jaye. And all kinds of thoughts are swirling in her mind. And she's like at the same time, she's hoping against hope. Hey, Bhagwan, kuch to ho jaye, something should happen. Otherwise I'll have to give up my life. So she's in so much anxiety that when will this Brahmana come? When will Krishna come? Will he come? And when will he come? Kal hai shadi, abhi tak aaye nahi. So Krishna has a habit of doing this. He puts his devotees into great anxiety. He doesn't give them ऐसा इतना आसानी से platter पे नहीं देते. भक्ति जो है, भक्ति is very rare. We may feel कि भक्ति is very easy. क्या है इसमें? थोड़ा sentimental नाच गाना करते हो गया. No. Bhakti is a very rare thing, rarest of rare thing. Why? Because by bhakti, the person who claims that I am Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Nichiti. person who is claiming to be the proprietor of all material and spiritual worlds in the Bhagavad Gita, that person who is controller of everyone and everything, who claims that he resides in everyone's heart as Paramatma, that person gets controlled through bhakti. Krishna becomes controlled by bhakti. We discussed last time, right? How he's for his devotee he will do anything, right? So that's why, because bhakti is so powerful that even the all-powerful Supreme Lord gets controlled by bhakti. Therefore, bhakti is not so easy to attain. It's a rare thing. So, she is thinking like this. Rukmini is in great anxiety. And then at that time, in the peak of her anxiety, because Krishna has kept her waiting, he's not giving it so easily to her. Ki aaye, utha ke leke gaye. Nahi, he's keeping her in anxiety till the last moment. And in that anxiety, suddenly, she starts getting a twitch in her left arm, in her left eye, which is considered good for women. कहते हैं कि लेफ्ट साइड वुमन का ट्विच हुआ तो अच्छा है, मेन के लिए राइट साइड ट्विच हुआ तो अच्छा है, ऐसा बोलते हैं उसका क्या, whatever, right? But she saw this and she felt something auspicious is about to happen. So because of that, she went and then suddenly she saw that Brahmana coming. The Brahmana whom she had sent. Imagine when you are so desperate, when suddenly he comes. So Jahan mein Jahan aa gayi. Oh my God, he's come back. And then when he comes, she makes him sit down and she asks him that, Daddy, he says, don't worry, Krishna has arrived. He is here now in Kundiniya. He has come. Don't worry. So she is so grateful. He gives her the message that Krishna has arrived. Now Rukmini was, and he says he arrived and he has, he will come and he will kidnap you. He will take you. Don't worry. जैसा आपने बोला वैसे ही होगा. Now she is so grateful when she hears this news. She is so grateful to the Brahmana. She is looking around. Now, who is she? She is princess of Vidarbha. मतलब very, very nice, very powerful king. Imagine princess के पास कितना opulence रहेगा, क्या कुछ नहीं रहेगा उसके पास देने के लिए as a gift, right? पुराने जमाने में हम सुनते हैं ना कि राजा ने उठा के ये लो मेरा चेन रख लो, लड़का हुआ लड़की हुई, good news दिया, ये लो, like that. So in the same way, she also is looking around and मैं क्या दूं? And she realized there is nothing I can give him for what he has given me. So she just pays obeisances to him. So this is very beautiful, that Prabhupada describes over here. He says, she was so elated, Rukmini was so elated, she was so delighted, so happy by the Brahmana's message that she wanted to give him in charity everything that she possessed. पहले उनके मन में आया मेरे पास जो भी है मैं ब्राह्मण को दे देती. Because such gratitude in her heart that मेरा life का एक ये था, इच्छा था, वो पूरा हो रहा है because Krishna has come thanks to the effort put by this Brahmana. He's coming and he's coming in time, right? So grateful. However, she finds nothing suitable for presentation. इसका क्या मतलब है? She realizes that there is nothing that you can give as a return gift for someone who has given you the matchless gift of Krishna. Someone who has given you Krishna, what you will give in return? क्या है आपके पास जो इतना valuable है as the Supreme Lord? So she's first searching, and then her intelligence prevails. She says no. She pays obeisances, and she pays obeisances with such gratitude. Brahmana is also very happy. And and Prabhupada describes that when the goddess of fortune pays obeisance to somebody, then the Brahmana doesn't need to worry, his whole life is taken care of now. So like that. So so now what happens is Krishna and Balram have also reached. So Bhishmaka, he arranges for Krishna and Balram to also, उनको भी ठहरने का जगह वगैरह देते हैं, उनको गिफ्ट्स क्लोथ्स देते हैं, फ्रेश क्लोथ्स सब देते हैं, and everything is set. And the Vasis, the Vidarbha Vasis, all the people in that kingdom, when they see Krishna and Balram, when they see the beauty of Krishna, they are thinking in their heart कि यार ये रुक्मिणी हमारी रुक्मिणी का शादी इनके साथ क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Who is this शिशुपाल? पता नहीं कौन होगा, इनके साथ उनका विवाह होना चाहिए. They are also hoping like that. So the next day, what happens is Rukmini, she gets up and she goes to the temple of Durga Devi. Now, what has she given instructions to Krishna? She has told that either before the I come out of the before. So she has told पूरा instruction दिया है उन्होंने बराबर से कि I will be accompanied by my friends, my mother will be there, and there will be some bodyguards. But bodyguards will come up to the gate of the temple. टेम्पल के गेट तक बॉडीगार्ड आएंगे, उसके आगे आई विल बी विद माय फ्रेंड्स. सो पूरा ऐसा उसने पूरा बता के रखा है भगवान कृष्ण भगवान को दैट हाउ टू किडनैप मी. पूरा उनको इंस्ट्रक्शन देके रखा है, मैनुअल पूरा व्हाट हैज टू बी डन. So now afterwards what happens? She goes into the temple and she is very hopeful. She is looking, can I see Krishna? She can't see Krishna. And then she goes into the temple and Prabhupada describes that she prays to Mother Durga. She prays to Durga Ma that please give me this Krishna as a husband. I don't want anything else. मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I just want Krishna as my husband. So like this, here Prabhupada says that it is all right. It is all right to worship Devi Devata. If our prayer is not that Dehi, Dehi, Dehi. What Radha Gopi कौन सा डायलॉग बोलते हो? क्या? नहीं वो क्या? लक्ष्मी माता वर दे मुझे करोड़पति क्या कर दे. लक्ष्मी माता वर दे मुझे करोड़पति कर दे. No, we don't go to demigods and pray for material benedictions. If we are praying that let me attain Krishna, let me get, if we go to Lord Ganesh and we pray to Lord Ganesh, oh Vignaharta, मेरे भक्ति में से बाधा निकालो, help me to make progress in bhakti. They are very happy if we ask for that. We should ask for that. So she also begs like that. And then when she steps out of the temple, okay, that is another scene that is described. When she steps out of the temple, at that time, all the princes and kings and everyone is standing there. They're all waiting because she's going to come out of the temple and उसके बाद शादी का सब समारोह शायद चालू होगा. So all the kings and princes, the friends of Sishupala and everybody, they're all standing there on their horses, their elephants, and and everything. They're standing there. When they see Rukmini, so a description is given of her beauty. I won't get into it, but a description is given that when they see Rukmini, just by seeing her, they start falling off their horses. They fall off their horses. They fall off their elephants. They fall unconscious because her beauty is so, मतलब वो ऐसे अपने आंखों में समा नहीं पाए ऐसा beauty, transcendental beauty. So Prabhupada describes there in the in the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that the beauty of Rukmini is actually meant for Krishna alone. It is not meant for other people. So what other princes saw was a Maya, like an illusory form of Rukmini. They didn't see actual Rukmini. But Rukmini, in her beauty, she just, kind of, there's a little hair on her face. So with her finger, she just daintily pushed her hair back and they all fell unconscious. And usko dekh ke, oh, this is too much. They were not able to tolerate her beauty. It was so beautiful. So when they saw all this, and Rukmini now she has come out of the temple. प्लान क्या था? या तो टेंपल में आने के पहले मुझे उठा लो या टेंपल से बाहर आऊंगी तभी उठा लो. अभी तो बाहर भी आ गई and there is no Krishna. She's again, she's getting worried and then she starts looking, she starts scanning all the princes over there. And she's scanning and they're all feeling वो हमें देख रही है and they are going mad with lust by looking at her. They're all looking at her, and while she's looking at them, suddenly amongst them, she sees Krishna. amongst all those princes. She sees Krishna. Has she seen Krishna before? How she recognized? ये भी सवाल उठ सकता है ना, कोई पूछ सकता है कि अरे ये कैसा पॉसिबल है, कैसा amongst the whole of princes and kings, how she recognized Krishna? Because she has heard about Krishna. The moment she has heard, see, this is the Lord cannot be seen unless He reveals Himself to us. With our vision, we cannot see the Lord. हमें लगता है ना, कोई बोलता है मुझे भगवान दिखाओ, show me God, then I will believe. अरे वो क्या आपके कोई क्यों नहीं, क्या आप बोलेंगे आओ और वहां जाएंगे, ऐसे क्यों? Why should He come before you? Prabhupada used to very strong words. Why should He come before a loafer like you? क्यों आए, आपने बुलाया तो वहां जाएंगे, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. So the Lord can come, and this is the thing. Even in the Mahabharata, we keep hearing stories, right? That the Lord came in front of Duryodhana. He showed Vishwaroop to Duryodhana also. Duryodhana tried to capture him. He showed Vishwaroop. विश्वरूप देख के भी उनके पल्ले नहीं पड़ा कि यार ये ऑल पावरफुल भगवान है, इनके साथ पंगा नहीं लेना है, छोड़ो. He didn't understand. He said, "Oh, ऐसे कोई जादूगर होगा, just a magician." No, right? So unless the Lord decides to reveal Himself, no one can see Him. So the Lord, maybe He revealed Himself, and she has heard of Krishna. So she saw Krishna immediately. It was like, immediate. Like in Ramayana also, you remember there was this scene where Lord Ram sees Mother Sita for the first time, and he's gone, huh? वाटिका में. He sees her for the first time. जब उनको पहली बार देखते हैं, there's a long, वो एक पूरा एपिसोड था रामायण में, काफी लंबा चला था वो. उस जमाने में हम लोग को उतना एंथू नहीं था ये सब देखने का, right? It was very slow. But that is the thing, that the Supreme Lord and His consort are meeting first time in Prakat Leela over here. That is an event, and you have to also understand. So, but यहाँ पे वो सब के लिए time नहीं है, because there is a kidnapping to be staged. So Krishna, she sees Krishna, आँख से आँख मिला, she sees him, he sees her, and then he just casually comes forward, right? From amongst all the people, with his chariot, he comes forward. He just takes her by the hand, he pulls on the chariot, and he starts driving away. And the words used over here is, he starts driving away slowly. ऐसा नहीं कि फुल स्पीड में लेके भागो, एकदम प्रेम से. Slowly he was driving away, as though he is not afraid, because he was not afraid. उनको क्या डर है किसी से? And he starts driving away, and as he is driving away, Jarasandha has not fallen unconscious. Jarasandha, you fools! Utho, dekho kya ho gaya, that person. And he says that which was meant for the lion, Shishupala, is being taken away by that jackal Krishna. Exact ulta bolte ho. हाँ, उठो, बेहोश पड़े हो, जाओ देखो, he's taking away Rukmini. So then, with great, everyone, they get up on their chariots. They pick up their swords, they pick up their armors, they pick up their bow and arrow, and they attack. And बलराम जी भी वेट कर रहे हैं वहां पे कि ये तो होने ही वाला है, उनको ऑलरेडी मालूम है, पूरा सेट है, मैच पूरा सेट है. So Balram ji comes with the Yadu Sena, and a Ghamasan Yuddha starts. Tremendous war. They start fighting, and I say, dart. People are just, one by one, they're being smashed. No one from the Yadu armies, even एक किसी को कुछ नहीं होता है, and एक के पीछे एक सब मर रहे. So after some time, those other people who are standing there, वो लोग भी सोचने लगते कि यार ये क्या लड़ाई है, हम लोग क्यों लड़ रहे हैं लड़ाई. मतलब ये तो शिशुपाल को लड़ना चाहिए, ये उसकी दुल्हन है, उसकी शादी होने वाले, हम क्यों मर रहे हैं इसमें? Why should our armies get annihilated like this for Shishupal? So they slowly start, मतलब पतली गली से सब एक निकलने लगते हैं, and some of them, so the war ends, the fight starts there only, ends there only. Some of them go to Shishupal and console him. कोई बात नहीं, ऐसा होता है, ये दुनिया नश्वर है, ये सब होता है इस दुनिया में. They try to explain to him, and he is extremely extreme. You can imagine, no? That is why Shishupal, if you remember, later on Mahabharata, when he comes and he's keeping on blaspheming Krishna, because he's so envious. I mean, किसी के साथ शादी फिक्स हुआ है एंड शादी वैसा मतलब वो ऐसा लिटरली हॉल शादी के हॉल की तरफ जा रही है एंड तभी आके कोई उसको अपहरण करके लेके जाते हैं एंड यू ट्राई टू फाइट एंड यू कांट डिफीट एंड उनको एक बाल बांका नहीं होता है एंड ये आराम से ऑल ऑफ देम आर किल्ड. What frustration, what, imagine how much envy is there in his heart for Krishna. So he, and then they are coming and consoling him, चलो यार ठीक है, हो गया कोई बात नहीं, next time आप कुछ और कर लेना. And then they all go back and Shishupal also सर पे हाथ लेके he also goes back. Story doesn't end there, right? Now what has happened? Rukmi is the one जिसने ये रिश्ता लगाया था, तो उसका बड़ा इंसल्ट हो गया. अरे मैंने बोला था, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? How is this possible that I had said? So this is where ego. We have all got ego. We feel कि if I have proposed something, अगर मैंने कुछ कहा है और किसी ने नहीं सुना, अरे मजाल है, मैंने कहा तुमने नहीं किया, अरे. So this is what happens with us. We become very egoistic. No, हमें ऐसे मुंह की खानी पड़ती है, as you will see. We should not become too egoistic. So what he said, he became very egoistic. He said, this coward boy, he has come and stolen my sister. So Prabhupada explains that Shishupal in his intelligence thought that, Rukmi in his intelligence thought that Shishupal is an appropriate husband. ये सही पति है मेरी बहन के लिए, ऐसा उसे लग रहा था. But he was foolish, right? But Shishupal was obviously not appropriate. So now he takes a vow, like Kshatriya vow he takes, that I will now go just see my power. Kshatriya log aisa, घोषणा करते हैं लोग. They don't just say something. लोग घोषणा करते हैं, announcement. Just see my power. I will go and I will kill that Krishna and I will drag him back here and I will bring my sister back. I'll marry her to Shishupal. ऐसा सब. And if I don't succeed, I will never come back to my, to my kingdom. I will never come back here. ऐसा बोल के बड़ा बड़ा डायलॉग मार के वो निकलते हैं वहां से. इसीलिए ना बोलते हैं ना, कभी क्या बोलते हैं, जोश में आके ना, we should never talk, because when you are in josh, we end up saying things which we ultimately regret later. You have to be very clear. You have to be very clear कि जोश में आके कुछ बोलना नहीं. इवन भीष्म ने जो वाउस लिया था, कुछ हद तक उसने जोश में आके लिया था, and because of those vows the whole Mahabharata happened. The starting point of Mahabharata is those two vows that he took. That first, that I will I will not marry, and second is that protect the kingdom. मैं राजा नहीं बनूंगा और मैं I will not even get married. I'll never have any children. So ये दो वाव्स के बंदे पूरा महाभारत वार चालू हो गया many years later. So like this, So one thing I forgot to mention. So when all these princes attacked, and Rukmini, now imagine Rukmini's state. Gentle, she's not very, like a young girl, gentle, very simple. And she has finally got Krishna, but she had not envisaged that ऐसा violent घमासान युद्ध चालू होगा उसकी वजह से. उसने उतना envisage नहीं किया. तो मेरे को किडनैप करके लेके जाएंगे, सिंपल होगा. ऐसा कभी कोई चीज सिंपल होता नहीं है ना. So immediately when the war started, she became very fearful. Rukmini became very fearful, and Krishna, he sees her face, and he tells her something very beautiful. He says, do not be afraid, beautiful-eyed one. This enemy force is about to be destroyed by your soldiers. Very interesting. He doesn't say by my soldiers, my army, Yadu Sena, ye log ka hissa khatam karenge. He says, don't worry, they will be destroyed very soon by your soldiers. So this is Krishna. He's completely, this is such a beautiful way of reassuring someone, कि already I have accepted you. हमारा शादी तो नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन ये सेना अभी you have surrendered to me. Now don't worry, I will take care. Like Krishna says in the Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchah. This is the final instruction that Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita. That Sarva dharman parityajya. Whole Bhagavad Gita is talking about dharma only. But then he says Sarva dharman parityajya. If you are confused about what is dharma, just give up all this dharma and mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just surrender unto me. Now one may be worried, Arey, if I just surrender to Krishna, तो पाप लगेगा, ये लगेगा, वो लगेगा, जो हम लोग को डर लगता है. Immediately Krishna says, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I will free you from all sinful reactions. Ma suchaha. Do not fear. Right? So Krishna is always reassuring his devotee कि आप मुझे surrender करके आपका कभी नुकसान नहीं होगा. So he is reassuring. So like this he says, he reassures her. Then Balram's forces attack and destroy them. And then Shishupal, goes home, and then Rukmini takes his oath that I'll bring back. So he goes and he catches up with Krishna and he challenges. तो बलराम जी वहां पे सब निपटा के वगैरह निकलने वाले, तब तक कृष्णा इज गॉन अहेड टुवर्ड्स द्वारका, राइट, विदर्भा टू द्वारका अगेन, लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस जाना है, तो निकल गए आगे. तो शिशुपाल आ गए पीछे से, ए रुको, नो, एंड ही इंसल्ट्स कृष्णा इन वेरियस वेज, यू कवर्ड बॉय, यू कवर्ड, डरपोक, ये वो, भाग गए, ये वो, कुछ 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 बहुत कुछ सुनाते हैं, तुम तो क्षत्रिय भी नहीं हो, ये वो, बहुत कुछ उनको सुनाते हैं. And then he starts attacking. He starts shooting arrows at Krishna. So Krishna also shoots arrows. He breaks one bow. Rukmini picks up another bow. He breaks the second bow. Rukmini picks up the third bow. He breaks that bow also. Then Rukmini throws various darts and missiles. He breaks that also. Then finally Rukmini comes with his sword to attack Krishna. And Krishna breaks that sword also. Then he takes out his sword and is about to chop off the head of Shishupal. That time he sees some tug at his feet. And he sees Rukmini is sitting at his feet and looking up like this, at my Lord. See, whatever it is, वो कितना भी बेवकूफ क्यों ना हो, भाई तो मेरा है. Please say मत मारो, don't kill him like this. Now she's thinking that, see, I was thinking this would be a very auspicious thing that I am surrendering to you. I don't want it to be on the way of my brother. So finally, Krishna says, okay, I'll not kill. But Krishna, what he does, he chops off part of his mustache, he chops off part of his hair, and leaves him looking very ridiculous. मतलब एकदम बेवकूफ लग रहा है, आधा मुंह आधा बाल, ऐसा कुछ तो अजीब दिख रहा है. So at that time Balram ji comes. Balram ji comes, and now how does Balram ji react? He's seeing Shishupal looking ridiculous, like this, tied up with half hair, half mustache, and Rukmini is standing there, Krishna standing, and Balram ji comes, and ये सब ये Krishna ने किया है, ये सब गड़बड़. So he comes and chastises Krishna. So he chastises him. He tells that you should not have done this. Do you realize he is our brother-in-law? The brother-in-law के साथ ऐसा कोई करता है? Huh? How you did like this? This is not right. This is almost you humiliated him to the point of death. You should not have done this. Kind of say sorry. This तरह का, and he reassures Rukmini because he realizes that maybe Rukmini is feeling very hurt by the whole episode. So very beautifully he reassures her and he preaches to her. Rukmini is satisfied. Rukmini को छोड़ देते हैं. Rukmini never goes back to Vidarbha because he has vowed that I will not come till I kill Krishna. He settles down in a village outside Vidarbha, and then they go back to Dwarka and they have a beautiful marriage ceremony over there. Rukmini is welcomed by all the Dwarkavasis, and Rukmini is the first wife of Krishna, which is why it is especially special. I'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Rukmini Dwarkadhish Bhagwan ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand. Any questions, comments from anybody before we do Kirtan? Online, anybody or? Anyone? Any questions or comments, please? Yes.
normally we see कि Krishna automatically manifests. कहीं भी कुछ लीला होता है वो manifest होता है. So for in this pastime, Krishna is driving personally, and it's taking 12 long hours to come there. So why is it so?
So the question Prabhuji is asking is that why Krishna can directly manifest? No, मतलब क्या दिक्कत क्या है? Like when Parikshit, you discuss the story of Parikshit. When Uttara came before Krishna, hey Krishna Mahabaho, Tam ekam Gokulam Prabhu, bro, please come and save my child. This fellow has sent, this Brahmastra to kill my child. So please save. In 1 second, Krishna manifested inside her womb and he saved. यहाँ पे इतना नौटंकी क्यों? 12 घंटा, ये सब करके क्यों? That is the point, that Krishna sometimes does these things to, increase the intensity of love that his devotees have for him. We discussed last time Vipralamba Bhav, the love in separation. That love that Rukmini has for Krishna, it is intensifying in that separation. She is burning in that separation. And Krishna sometimes puts his devotees in that situation to intensify their love. And Rukmini comes out full marks. She doesn't say, "Jaane do nahi aa rahe, chalo Shishupal kaun sa kharab hai." Right? You see, like, what is the difference between, you see, like Shurpanakha. वैसे शूर्पणखा ने क्या बुरा किया था? उसको भी तो लॉर्ड राम सुंदर लग गए थे, उनके पास गए थे. बताओ, शूर्पणखा ने क्या खराब किया था? Because Shurpanakha did not approach Lord Ram with any love. It was only lust. So when she comes to Lord Ram, and Lord Ram, when she comes, she says that, why don't you marry me? I am also very beautiful. So Lord Ram knows that she is Shurpanakha. She's come in a beautiful form, but he knows that she is not, and she's a demoness. So he says that, I'm actually ek patni valta, only one wife I have taken. So already my wife is here. So, but see, my brother is there, Lakshman. वो भी equally good looking है. वो कुछ कम नहीं है, देखो कितना handsome है. जाओ उसके पास जाओ. So she immediately goes to Lakshman. So this is what, the Acharyas explain. This is the difference between love and lust. That she was just lusty, that's all. कोई मिल गया, Lakshman चलेगा, चलो. She goes to Lakshman. And then Lakshman starts playing game. Lakshman says, "Arey, तुमको पता नहीं? I am servant of Lord Ram. He is Ayodhyapati. अभी वनवास में है, but he is the king. You want to marry the king or you want to marry the servant? आप ही सोचो." इसने बात तो पते की बोली. She goes back to Ram. And then Ram again, I already told you that I am not going to marry you. Go to my brother. Then she says, nahi. So then she becomes, Rakshasi. Says, मैं ये सीता, she is the सारे जड़ फसाद की जड़ ये है. तो मैं इसे ही खा जाऊंगी. So she tries to attack. That time Lord Ram tells Lakshman, जरा देखो. So this is the point that, हिसाब कर दो उसका. So this is the point that the Lord is looking for pure love. And Rukmini manifests that pure love in her interactions. She does not at any point, give up. ठीक है, अभी नहीं आ रहा. मैंने तो full try मारा था भाई. मैंने तो अपना 16 माला जपा कर लिया था. अभी भगवान नहीं आए तो मैं क्या करूं? ऐसा नहीं. That this is the persistence that is needed. If we want Krishna, we have to be persistent. We should not just give up very easily. Because Krishna will test us. He'll make us wait. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Maybe Lord wants to show that how much he is also working hard for the devotees again.
Yes,
He wanted to just show.
Yes.
Like all the way he's traveling. So we feel, no, Lord Krishna is also working hard so much.
Yes.
But that is also something.
Yes. That the Lord also sometimes shows by his personal example कि कष्ट करने से ही कोई अच्छा चीज मिल सकता है. तो उन्होंने भी कष्ट उठाया. Yes. Anything else? Or shall we end here? We'll have kirtan for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, as you said that the final code of the Gita was Sarvadharma Pratyaja. But next to that verse 18.67, Shri Krishna says that don't tell this knowledge to anyone who is envious of me or who is not austere. But before that, he also says in 18.61 and 18.63 that Ishvara Sarva Bhutana, the Supreme Lord is situated
in everyone's heart. Yeah.
Surrender to him exclusively. By his grace, you will attain perfect peace.
Yes.
So this the Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja is, I think, to those devotees who are like completely attracted to Krishna, who are completely involved in bhakti. But those who are like following other paths like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, which is the primitive forms. So that verse typically, so that final verse typically tells to those devotees that who are completely now absorbed in Krishna's devotion.
Actually, so that's a good point. Actually, it's a good point. But if you see in 18.61, like he says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshwa Arjuna Tishtati, he uses that. And then in 63, he tells that now I have given you everything, whatever I had to tell you. And then he says, Yad Ichchasi Tatha Kuru. Now you do what you want. So this is the large-heartedness of Krishna, that he has taken 18 chapters to explain to Arjuna why he should obey his instructions. But at the end he says, "Aapko jaisi ichha hai वैसे आप करो." You know, I have explained everything to you. Anything else you want to know? और कोई doubt है? You know, और कोई question है? और कोई सवाल है? नहीं है? तो हो गया, जो बोलना था बोल दिया. अभी यदा इच्छसि तदा करो. You do what you want, right? He gives the choice. But then out of his overflowing compassion in his heart, he again starts Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita वहाँ खत्म हो गया. 18.63 में खत्म हो गया. Where he's given everything, he said, now you do what you want. I have given you all the instructions. But again he says, you know, that man mana bhav mad bhakto, and he says this one. So that is why Acharya has explained that this instruction, the final instruction of surrender, it kind of supersedes everything that he said before that. जो भी पहले बोला भगवत गीता में, that मैंने आपको सिखाया about different dharma, what is the dharma of a person, you are a kshatriya, what is kshatriya dharma, what is brahman dharma, सब बताया. But the essence of all dharma ultimately is to surrender to me as a person, right? So that instruction is not just for, you know, devotees or those who are already very, it is for all of us. Ultimately उसमें से हम लोग कितना follow कर सकते हैं, that is our ये, that is, you know, like the Srimad Bhagavatam starts where Bhagavad Gita ends, where Krishna has said Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Bhagavatam is all about Sarva Dharman Parityaja. All the characters in Bhagavatam are like that, who have fully surrendered to Krishna. Right? So we have to also understand that this, while this may be, it may sound exotic to us, it may sound difficult, impractical, etc., etc. To understand that the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is complete and perfect and universal. It's for everybody. If we start thinking like this, कि नहीं नहीं ये तो खाली वो जो elevated जो साधु बाबा लोग हैं ना इनके लिए, मेरे लिए बाकी का है. बाकी का भी हम लोग कर सकते. Bhagavad Gita is full of verses which you can pick up any verse and perfect your life. But this final verse is like a pura sweeping ceremony, you know, summary of the whole Gita. Where Krishna says this is the essence, that just surrender unto me. That's all. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai. Ita Gaur Premanandi. Hare Hare. We look Kirtan for a few minutes.